Hey guys, welcome again. It's good to have you back on the channel. Today we're gonna be talking about 5 lessons that I learned on my coding journey. And then I guess most of you guys have been on journeys before, and then you know what it entails, the situation and the problems you encounter, the ups and downs and all that. And today I'm gonna be sharing with you my coding journey and then the lessons that I've learned. That is my top 5 that I've learned. And so you can stick around to the end of the video. The number one lesson that I've learned on my coding journey is being consistent. Consistency can be said to be a quality or a fact of being the same at different times. According to the Cambridge International Dictionary of English, it said that consistency is always behaving or happening similar, especially in positive ways. It also says that the occasional mistakes doesn't matter, but when you get it consistently wrong, then you are in trouble. But on the contrary, I have learned that to be a good programmer or to be a good at coding, you need to be consistent in whatever you are doing. Do not worry about errors. They are bound to happen. They're gonna come, and then you should expect them. You see, I listened to one podcast and another article that I read. It said that when you start a program or you start a project from start to finish, and there is no error or you don't get any error, any type of error, whether syntax error, runtime error, any kind of error, and then there must be something wrong somewhere, because you have to get errors. I mean, in order to know that you're going on the right path, you need to be seeing these errors and know that things aren't really working, because it's not natural to start a project from the very first day, doing everything clean, and then no error, no red lines in your code. I mean, it's unrealistic. So these things are going to happen, but it's your ability to be consistent, to be the same at different times, that's going to help you to be able to go over these kind of obstacles and then become the better programmer you want. The second lesson that I've learned is that the road is muddy. You see, when I began to learn how to code or tell myself that I want to be a programmer, I started watching YouTube videos that they were telling me. I was listening to people saying programming is easy, coding is easy. You can literally create a simple game today and become the next billionaire. Create a simple app today, sell it, become the next Elon Musk, and all those things. I didn't know what the reality was, but I could tell you for a fact that it is not easy. When you hear anybody talking about coding or programming and saying it is easy, it is because the person has been coding for a couple of years or the person has experience in it, so it becomes a very easy task for the person. But the problem is, or the reality is, it is not easy. Please, it is not easy for me, and from my perspective and how I have learned or how my experience have evolved with coding, it is not easy. You see, at first you might think it's just a road trip you are going to take on an asphalt road, but I bet you, and the truth and the honesty is that that road is not going to be asphalt. It's going to be red. It's going to be muddy, and the better part of it is that it's going to be raining on that day. All the time, the road is going to be wet. It's going to be muddy. It's going to be sticky. You can cast your minds back to the time when it rained heavily, and then the road, you find yourself in the village or anywhere just with red muddy roads, and you can imagine the suffering that the vehicle, whatever you were using to drive through those mud, you can imagine the suffering, the pull back, the forward, you moves forward, and then it's like you jerk backwards, then you hit the accelerator, hit it really hard, and then you jerk backwards. It's like that. the back and forth movement you are, and sometimes you even get stuck. Yeah, so at some point in my journey I got stuck. I didn't know what to really do. Sometimes I'll go frustrated that things weren't really working. Imagine really copying something exactly from a tutorial and putting it into your code and it's not working. And it was like, man, the code cannot work for you, dude. Me, I was rethinking, I was asking myself whether really becoming a front end developer or becoming a programmer was something I should reconsider or something, because I became frustrated, didn't know what to do. But I gave myself a break, went back to listen to some podcasts, and then read articles, and I got my inspiration back. And then I came back and I continued coding. And so now I totally understand everything about the back and forth and then all those things, because those things are things that are really going to happen in the journey. Number three is learn like a retailer. So if you're running a business, or if you ever studied business, or you've done something relating to business, you probably know who a retailer is. Well, for those of you who don't know what or who a retailer is simply a business or a person that sells goods to the public at relatively smaller quantities. So this person goes to the company, those who manufacture them, or the wholesalers, and then takes these goods and then come to sell to the public or to the customers in smaller quantities. And so by this I'm saying that on your journey or on your coding journey, I learned that um, trying to learn everything in wholesale, trying to buy everything at once is not going to be work, because when you are learning, or when you are practicing, when you are coding, when you are learning how to code, it's almost like you are kind of how should I say, you are kind of on a budget, and then you need to be to be going a step at a time. You acquire knowledge a step at a time, because if you go wholesale, at the end of the day you end up not getting any benefits from whatever you are learning, because if you don't understand how to print hello world, you can never understand how to use variables, because at the end of the day you are going to print variables to the console to enable you test or to know what you're doing is right or wrong. So in my coding journey I learned that learning bit by bit. Make sure you understand a concept before you move to that. Make sure you understand how to use variables before you move how to create functions and all those things, and then you move in a turtle space, very slow pace. You don't try to rush, and then because the thing is that when you are self-taught, you can set your own goals and deadlines. That one is okay, but make them realistic. But the thing is that nobody is on your neck for you to finish the entire JavaScript course in one day, to know everything about JavaScript in one day, or to know everything about Python in one day. You see, there are all of these crash courses on YouTube and other places that people go and download. I did the same thing. I downloaded a crash course to watch some of them. But the essence of these crash courses is to let you understand the basics. They give you fair idea. The crash courses don't give you, I mean, a full guarantee that you are going to be good just after watching a 10-hour crash course. It doesn't work like that, and it won't work like that. The thing is that these crash courses are just things that you are going to use to settle yourself, to enable yourself to understand concepts really better, because different people give different courses, and then the explanations are very different. Maybe you don't understand certain concepts, so you go for these crash courses, go for those tutorials, and then you get them in, you sink them in. So you need to be like a retailer when you are learning how to code. Learn in small chunks. So number 4 is articles. Articles are the hidden gems. If you probably played a game, or if you're a gamer, you know what a hidden gem is. Exactly, that is what it means. This is something that is extremely good, but not many people know about it, or not many people pay attention to it. The thing is that A lot of people don't read articles because they feel that these articles are a waste of time, they are too long to read. And then you see, as I said earlier, the road is muddy. You need to go through all these kinds of things in order for you to become what, to improve. You get a point. So articles are very good in as much as documentation is good. You see, articles and documentation, basically I would say articles equals documentation. Article is the same as documentation. You understand what I mean? Reading articles will go a long way to help you, understand concept or how to solve problems that you encounter, because people without experience are people producing these articles. They share solutions to problems they have encountered, problems you will encounter, and then they share their solutions or ideas and how you should even approach everything or every solution you might need in every situation. You see, the thing about programming is that whatever you are learning now, somebody has learned that already, and then the person has experienced countless of different problems, and it has identified different solutions with them. And so it is one of the weapons you need in your arsenal as a programmer. It's very powerful, and it's going to what make you a very good programmer. And then the fifth one, last but not least, a never-ending journey. Before the start of the video, I talked to you about going on journeys, on road trips. Maybe those ones really end after the long drive, then there's a stop, and then your journey is over. When you reach your destination, your journey is over. But when it comes to coding or programming, it's almost as if there's no journey, there's no destination. There are only checkpoints, but there's no destination. This journey goes on and on and on and on. So becoming a programmer, you need to be a lifelong learner. By lifelong learner, you know what I mean. Somebody you just have to be learning all the time. You are learning throughout your life, and then becoming a lifelong learner is going to help you to stay up to date with the evolving technology every day, because this field, the tech industry, is full of information. Every second, every minute, people are creating things are happening, and then it's just a dynamic trend, and things are moving. You need to be a lifelong learner. You need to be reading articles, news, and all that, so that you are up to date. Because when you are not up to date, you might be using technologies that are no more in need, technologies that people wouldn't want to use in their next app or in their companies, or you'll be building softwares that have already been built tens of thousands of times ago, and then you just wouldn't click, it wouldn't work for you, and at the end of the day you end up in a stage where you call career winding down. You just wind down, and then you are out of the job market. And then if you are not fortunate enough, you can't get back on your feet, and that is where things really start to get bad. So you need to be a lifelong learner, and then be abreast with everything happening in the technological world, not only your programming field. Maybe if you are a front end, don't only focus on front end. You can check what is happening at the back end, check the technologies back end developers use, also check out machine learning, AI, and all those stuff. You have a lot of skills in your tool set, and then it's going to help you a lot. So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well, and also hit on the notification bell again so that you don't miss any of my new uploads. And then I'll see you guys in my next video.
AK Mark produced it.